Hi, my name is Hannah Fisher. I am a first year teacher at Takema Herman Schools, teaching 5th grade through 12th grade band, and I'm also a recent graduate. I graduated in spring of 22 from the University of Nebraska at Omaha. So this is kind of a vlog on surviving the music ed program and getting through to your first year of teaching and then surviving that. It's a lot to get through music ed, right? It's a 4.5 year commitment, and or 5 years even. It's a long time that it takes to get through all of that, and it's a lot of material that you're expected to learn, and it's a lot of time that you're expected to commit, and it's a lot of energy and brain power, and it feels like you're doing about 900 things and spinning about 900 plates to do it. And then it's over. And then you have to somehow transition from that into being a teacher. And it's the wildest experience that I've had so far. And not a bad experience, but definitely a weird one. So surviving the music ed degree, this is like in two parts. First, surviving the music ed degree, and then second, surviving the transition into your first year of teaching. Surviving the music ed degree was for me largely a function of having mentorship from awesome people and having companionship from awesome people. So the mentorship comes in the form of awesome advisors or professors who look out for you, or even people who are a little bit further along, or practicum teachers or practicum supervisors. Any of those people, I could list probably 10 people who I could credit with some of my success and some of my survival, who looked out for me and kind of kept an eye on me, made sure I was going where I needed to be going, gave me good advice, kept me sane, just in terms of professors and other people who at the time I kind of viewed them as the real adults, right? Who knew what was going on and knew kind of where I was headed. And so having those people and enlisting those people to support you and asking those people for help, I know it's hard to ask for help, right? Like, it's difficult. We don't want to admit that we need help, but we do, right? Music ed is not a program you can survive on your own. Maybe someone can. I couldn't. It's not a program you should try to survive on your own, right? Because music is a thing we do collectively. That's the fun of it, right? That's like when we teach music in school, we're not trying to train a bunch of soloists. We're trying to train a group, a band, a choir, right? We're trying to make them into one team, right? And you need your team of people around you, even if they're not necessarily playing instruments with you. They're still helping you to move forward and do what you need to do. So having your team of mentors and people who know what is going on and know more about the field than you do, who can look out for you and help you and give you advice, is really awesome. And then the other thing that was really helpful is companionship, right? You have to have people who are going through what you're going through and who know the struggle and who are in the same classes as you, to commiserate with and to collaborate with and to ask for help, right? The group chat that started for me and some of my college buddies who were all in the same classes, the group chat that started as, what do we have to do for Dr. Fannon's class tomorrow? Like that sort of thing, turned into the group chat for student teaching and for first year of teaching that was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to lose my mind. I don't know how to solve this problem, or I've got 3 honor bands this week. What do I do? Anybody got good sub plans? It turned into that sort of thing where we share tips and tricks, or we just commiserate, through college and then after college, right? Having that group of people that can support you and that you can support, who can look out for you. I remember I had a woodwinds methods class in college, and woodwinds was a big struggle for me to learn, definitely. And part of that was because I learned it over Zoom, and some of it was spent like playing in a practice room or in my car between practicum stuff or whatever, like doing class from my car, right? Playing the flute in my car. That was just not the way that you're supposed to learn that. So I remember struggling. I was in a practice room on Zoom for that class because we all had to be separated during COVID. Learning the clarinet, and I just could not make sound, could not do it. And so I ended up like messaging through the thing my friend Nora Jean, and I was like, please just come help. And so she like sprints over from her practice room on the other end of the whole practice room suite, and like bursts in, adjust like 500 little things on my clarinet, right? Like adjust like 3 things that I'm doing, and then I play and it still doesn't work. And she's like, I think it's your clarinet. And lo and behold, it was. Long story short, right? And it was just a horrible school that probably should have been retired. And had I not had someone to actually burst in and help, I would never have really realized that I wasn't the problem. I would have just assumed that I was doing something wrong and given up, right? And just played the trumpet instead of the clarinet. I was teaching it, I would have assumed that there was just something that wasn't letting me play the clarinet, something wrong with my face. I don't know. So just having people who can call you out and say, no, you're not the problem here. right? Or saying, you don't understand what's happening here. This is what's actually happening. People who can keep you grounded, people who can keep you sane, and help you out is really, really important. So that in the form of mentors and the form of companions is really, really, really helpful. And then the transition into your first year of teaching, it's going from doing 500 things with one goal to doing one thing with about 500 goals. I was doing this millions. It felt like I was doing a million things when I was in college. So many, right? I was in so many ensembles. I was doing so many different things. And then I was student teaching, and I was doing one thing. I was just teaching, And there's a lot of parts to it, but my job is to stand up, talk, teach, make band happen, make music theory class happen, whatever. And then I graduated. And I nearly enrolled in grad school because I had a crisis of someone should be telling me what to do with my life. And after I graduate, no one's going to be telling me what to do. I just have to make those decisions on my own. And I didn't want to, right? Because you go through high school and college and you have advisors and people, mentors who are telling you, here's the exact next steps you need to do to succeed. Here are the classes you need to take. And no one was going to tell me, here are the jobs you need to take to be successful. And by the way, here's a good definition of success that works, right? But no one's going to do that for you after college. No one's going to say, here's how you define success. You define success as getting your degree. Cool, then what do you do afterwards, right? How are you defining success? You have to define it for yourself, right? And maybe your first year teaching, what you define success as is just survive and make band happen. Maybe that's what it is. So didn't enroll in grad school. Got over that crisis. But I spent that whole summer just kind of figuring out instruments and figuring out how I was going to do recruitment in the fall and all that, and just trying to get my act together before my first year of teaching. And it was a little wild, And then my first couple weeks were a whirlwind. I still feel like, frankly, I started a freshman year marching band camp in college 2 weeks ago, right? It feels like somehow everything's flashed forward and flown by. But, the things that have helped me the most in my first year of teaching are finding the people in your building who like to answer questions, right? Which you're in a building full of teachers. That's the best place to be when you have a lot of questions. You probably have a lot of people who want to answer questions. So I'm very lucky that I have 2 people in my hallway who are music people who I can ask and be like, how does this happen? What do we normally do for this? Who are very experienced, who are awesome. How do I teach this? Can you come in and teach flute vibrato to me and the flute students? Because I didn't learn that because I was doing flute over Zoom in a car. Can you show me how to do this and show my students how to do this? That sort of thing is really, really exciting and helpful to have. And then also having non-music mentors around. So I was very lucky to have our district business manager is the coolest lady ever. And she was the person who gave us the unofficial tour of the school with all the hot gossip and tea and stuff and all of the here's the weird abandoned secret part of the building type of thing. And she's always been the person that I wander down to her office and I'm like, I know this isn't your thing that you're supposed to handle, but who do I talk to make this happen? And she'll be like, actually, that is mine. Actually, that's what I do. And I'm like, cool, how do I do this? And she's like, da, 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 da. And then I do da, 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 and it's done, right? So when you need to have someone who you can go to with a crazy idea and they tell you how to actually make it happen. Or you need to have someone you can go to and be like, I need to make this happen. I've been told I don't even know the first step to making this happen, and they can help you, right? Finding those people who are willing to help is really, really helpful, and being able to ask for help. Yes, it stinks to ask for help. We want to be perfectly independent people, but we can't and we shouldn't, right? This is a collaborative thing, and we need, I don't want to say co-conspirators, colleagues. We need friends. We need people to help, right? And then the last thing, some of the best advice I got was from Roger Groth, who was my practicum supervisor for a while. And he said, Hannah, you cannot possibly get better at 30 things at once. Pick one thing to get better at, do that, and then do the next thing. Because you're not going to get 30 things done at once, but you might get 30 things done sequentially, one at a time. And what that means, that applies in a couple different directions. For me, that applied in the direction of my band can't get better at 30 things at once. It can get better at 1 or 2 things at once. We can get better at rhythm. We can get better at paying attention to our notes instead of just guessing, right? We can get better at, there's a key signature there. We can pay attention. We can get better at just kind of the literacy of it. But we can't do that and have time to get super hyped up about field marching and dot marching and stuff. There's just not enough hours in the day. And so I picked my battles. I said, we are going to get really, really music literate. We're going to get that figured out. We're going to get good at this. We're going to read some music and not just guess, right? Not just use our ears. And I'm actually going to take the time and we're going to sound good. And we did. And we did it. And, now we're at the point where, okay, we can mark time and do that, which is super cool. But that was not going to happen in August, right? That was the process of getting everything figured out and getting the culture figured out and getting how I wanted things to be figured out. And there just wasn't time for me to do everything, right? So you choose what you can do. This was a school that hadn't marched in probably 10 years. And so I'm like, what's one more year? We'll put them on the field. Yes, they will not march on the field this year, but next year, here's hoping. So picking your battles there, and then also picking your battles personally, right? You can't just say, I want to be a better teacher, because like there's 5 million things that go into that, right? You could say, I want to be more organized and answer my emails better. You could say, I want to communicate with parents better. You can say, I want to manage talking in my classroom better, but you have to pick one, and you have to do that first and focus on that. You can't do all of it at once. It just isn't going to work, right? You don't have enough time and enough brain power to fix everything at once and learn everything at once. Take it one thing at a time. My first year of teaching has not been hell on wheels the way that I was expecting it to. You know, the way people talk about your first year of teaching, they talk about it like it's, you know, you're gonna feel like death all the time. You're not gonna feel like you have any time. You're gonna be exhausted, and like maybe a little bit, but not entirely. Like you actually get to do the thing that you've been working towards for 4 or 5 years. You know, you actually get to teach every day, which is super cool. And that's fun, and it's good. You know, it's not all the slog, and it's not all the classroom management is hard, and it's not all the, oh, I'm confused, I don't know what to do. It's not all, you know, finding out at the last minute that your band should be performing at something type of stuff. A lot of it is just the fun and joy of teaching, and the joy of, oh, I figured out how to do that. Like, I figured out how to teach that, and you figured out how to play it, and now we're good, and we can actually do this. It's so exciting. So your first year teaching doesn't have to be horrible, but it's also not going to be the year that you figure everything out. And you can't figure out everything at once, and that's okay. You can't figure everything out on your own, and that is very okay. You're surrounded by people who want to teach and want to help. You have colleagues and mentors and stuff, and practicum teachers and all that everywhere, all over the place, right? Who want to help and who want to see you succeed. And so you have to reach out, and you have to let other people help you. And yes, you should help other people too. But especially getting out of your music ed program and into your first year of teaching, you have to accept the help, but you have to ask for it, because people want to give you the help, right? You just have to be willing to say, I don't know how to do this, or I need help with this, and people want to help. So that's my little video blog. I hope that some of that was helpful or resonated. I hope that whatever you're doing music ed-wise, that you continue, and that you find the people to support you and to be around you and commiserate with you and help you through all of it. So thanks for watching. Yeah, bye.